The journey to earning my next $1,000. The reality check. After earning my first $100, I thought I was on top of the world. I walked around like I had just unlocked the secret to the universe. But let's be real, $100 wasn't enough to buy me a house or even a decent laptop. My dreams of becoming a tech mogul felt a little too big for a 15-year-old who could barely manage to keep his room clean. But hey, I had tasted success, and that was all the motivation I needed. So I thought, all right, let's aim for the next big goal. $1,000. Piece of cake, right? If you're laughing right now, you're not alone. The grand plan, or not. I remember sitting in my room, brainstorming. How can I get to $1,000? What's the secret? Then, like a flash of genius, it hit me. The answer was simple. Get more clients. I started sending out emails, creating social media posts, and even trying to convince my dog that he needed a marketing campaign. Spoiler alert, he didn't, and I don't think he appreciated the idea. But anyway, I kept pushing forward. Mistake number one, I didn't think about the fact that getting clients means talking to people, and I didn't always have the best luck with that. The adventures of cold calling. Now, I don't know if you've ever tried cold calling, but let me paint you a picture. Me, a 15-year-old with a shaky voice, calling businesses and telling them I could help their brand look amazing. I didn't realize I had about as much experience in branding as a goldfish. The first few calls were okay. I got a few nods, a couple of sure, we'll think about it, but nothing concrete. My best attempt was when I called a pet store and offered to design posters for their adorable puppy adoption event. Hello, I'm Jack and I make fantastic posters. I'll do yours for just 50,000 BND. What do you think? I asked confidently, even though I was internally crying. The pet store owner, probably laughing in the background, said, "Well, Jack, we don't need any posters, but we'll keep you in mind." That was my first cold calling experience, and it was cold. I was starting to think this wasn't the easiest path to $1,000. Pivoting again. After a few more failed attempts, I realized something crucial. My method of marketing had a tiny flaw. Nobody was really interested in a 15-year-old doing random freelance gigs. So what did I do? I switched things up. This time, I didn't just focus on one thing. I branched out. I learned more about website design, social media management, and even SEO, because every young entrepreneur loves a good acronym. I decided to expand my offerings to small businesses that had absolutely no online presence. I could design their websites, manage their social media, and even set up their online stores. It was like offering a whole digital makeover. Surely, people would love it, right? A better and slightly more successful approach. I started offering free website audits, which was just me going to their websites, saying, "Hey, this could be better," and sending them a list of 50 things they needed to fix. The best part? I didn't even know how to fix most of the problems. But hey, it sounded professional. To my surprise, some business owners actually took me up on it. One guy, let's call him Dave because that's the name he gave me, actually said, "Hey, you're right. My website is a mess. Can you fix it for me?" I froze. Sure, I said, as if I knew how to code a website. I spent the next 48 hours binge-watching coding tutorials and praying that I wouldn't accidentally delete Dave's entire business. But by some miracle, I actually managed to make his website look, well, like a website. The first real win. Dave loved it. "This is fantastic. I'll pay you $100 for this." I nearly fell out of my chair. I had just earned $100 in one day, and I didn't even break a sweat. Okay, I did break a sweat, but let's not get bogged down in the details. This was the first time I felt like a real entrepreneur. Maybe I wasn't as clueless as I thought. Maybe I could really hit that $1,000 mark after all. The epic client chase. I didn't stop there. I went full-on hustler mode. I designed more websites, helped businesses set up Instagram accounts, and even made YouTube intro videos for local businesses. They didn't know what they were getting into, but I pretended like I was a pro. My social media was blowing up. I posted pictures of my latest projects, which was a lie because I didn't have that many projects. But I made it look like I was super busy. You know, the old fake it till you make it routine. The unbelievable client. One day, I got an email from a local cafe. They had seen my work online and wanted to hire me for a full redesign of their website. My heart skipped a beat. This was it. This was my chance to make it big. We scheduled a meeting. I was so nervous. I showed up wearing my nicest hoodie and tried to act like I was some kind of seasoned professional. The cafe owner, a very no-nonsense woman named Sarah, didn't mince words. "I like what I've seen so far, Jack. Let's make this happen. How much do you charge?" I swallowed hard. "Well, for something like this, I usually charge around $500. She paused. Then she smiled. "Great. Let's do it." The big payoff. A few weeks later, I had completed the project. It wasn't perfect, but it was functional, and Sarah was thrilled. I handed over the final product, and, to my amazement, she paid me exactly what we had agreed on, $500. Now, I was halfway to my goal, but that wasn't enough. I couldn't stop there. I kept pushing, expanding my services, and taking on more projects. Slowly but surely, the money started to add up. By the time I had worked with several clients, perfected my skills, and learned how to handle difficult customers, because let's face it, there's always one, I had hit the magical $1,000 mark. What I learned? Here's the thing. The journey to earning that next $1,000 was a lot messier than I anticipated. It wasn't just about the money, it was about the lessons along the way. 1. Persistence pays off. I didn't get $1,000 overnight. It took time, setbacks, and even some embarrassing moments, like the time I accidentally deleted a website and had to spend 3 hours fixing it. 2. Adapt and pivot. The cold calling and flyer distribution didn't work, so I switched things up and offered more valuable services. 3. Embrace the failures. Not every client loved my work, and I didn't always nail on the first try. But those failures taught me what I could do better next time. Conclusion. The next step, hitting the $1,000 milestone, was an unforgettable moment. It wasn't just about the money. It was about proving to myself that with the right mindset, I could turn my skills into something valuable. And while the road was a little bumpier than I expected, it was worth every single setback. So, if you're thinking about earning your first $1,000 or your next $1,000, remember this. Start with a plan, stay persistent, and don't be afraid to laugh at your own mistakes. Because in the end, it's those mistakes that will lead you to success. And if I can do it, you can too. Now, where did I put that next client's email?